cult of personality. The cult of personality. The cult of personality.
Welcome back to the Cult of Personality podcast, hosted by yours truly once again, Mikeymcchoppa. And with me today, we have a good friend, but a new face to y'all, but not a new face to me. My good friend, frequent collaborator, photographer, kind of creative director, mad scientist genius, Avery Savage.
I love mad scientist.
Yeah.
That's a cool one.
You know?
I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, nah, like, you give, like, I went with creative director because I really feel like that's an applicable term, but with that, it's like, you are spawning these ideas out, like...
Yeah. I've been getting the creative director moniker lately, especially, you and I have always worked on things that are like
a project,
like a big project. And I definitely love to work on a big project, but I'm also like, creative direction, like directing is too much.
It's a lot of, like, I be seeing you doing your thing, and I'm like, this is a lot of work, a lot of responsibility. Yeah. You have to, like, cater to everyone and make sure everything's going on a schedule. Mm-hmm. And you're also the laborer, like, the dude with the camera. Right. Like, all right, now that I have everything organized.
Right.
It's like, oh, shit.
And that's kind of why I feel that way. Is like, ultimately what I want to do is I just want to be able to just shoot the photo. Yeah. But it's also recognizing that there's, like, if I don't make the structure that's going to allow me to do that, then the structure doesn't exist.
Right.
You know what I mean? And in making that structure, I'm like, okay, I'm already here. And Madison too, of course, like, we're already here. We're already making this thing. Why not make something we're already doing it. Make something that's beneficial for multiple people.
Right.
And I think that's like our, like, design language is like trying to make something that puts the benefit first.
Right.
It's like, okay, how does everybody walk out of this system with something?
Yeah, and also, like, cultivates, like, a community in that, like, same breath,
It's a great byproduct.
Dude, it's... I don't know, like, it's crazy, There's not many environments that I run into living in New York City that you could compare to, like, the things that you host, or, like, the things, the ideas you conjure, the productions that you produce, however you want to word it. Like, it's really dope. It's really cool.
Well, thank you.
So,
thank you for always being it, though.
Oh, yeah, of course. I think, like, I don't know, man. Like, how would I say it? Like, I love art. I love collaborating with people. And with that, like, I'm very willing to collaborate with, like, goddamn near anyone, especially, like, with podcasting. I kind of interview anyone, but when it comes to, like, actual, like, collaborations and work and integrity, you're, like, one of my favorite people to, like, work with, or, like, even just hang out with, talk to, pick your brain, I think we work creatively very well.
Yeah, I think we do too.
Oh, yeah.
And every time we do jump onto the photo moment, it feels like it's natural.
Right.
It's a natural
Fluid
thing, and it flows. Right. Well, and I think a lot of that has to do with just having our heads in similar spaces.
Right.
Because that, collaboration can be a pain in the ass. It can be fun. It's like, it's interaction.
Right.
It's interpersonal interaction. And I think that, it's a good thing and it's a lucky thing to come across people that you have a positive collaborative language with, that it works. A
chemistry of sorts.
A chemistry. Yeah. Exactly that.
Oh, yeah. Water time. Thank you very much.
Up.
All right. I need this, actually.
Slam that.
Oh, man, that's great. But no, yeah. And so, like, in our times of collaboration, in our times of knowing each other, I'm glad to finally have you on the pod and collaborate for this moment.
It's been a long time coming.
Right.
Yeah.
So, not to even get ahead of ourselves, I want to kind of just dig into, before we even get to, like, the name, the image, the aura, the anchor question, it's just kind of like, give me some pre-context on, like, who you are, where you're from, and, like what drove you to this, like, to what you are as, like, a creative, like, powerhouse, even beyond, like, the photography and stuff. We'll get into the nitty gritty in 1 second.
Yeah, that's an expansive question. So I grew up in Connecticut, which Connecticut is, like, I think it's, like, top 3-4, like, richest states.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's some lore. I didn't know that.
It's super, super rich over there. But at the same time, there's a lot of spaces that are in Connecticut actually, I would say the majority of Connecticut is like the opposite.
Right.
And the places that make that reputation of it being one of the richest places is like all along the coastline.
Yeah.
Or like certain little dotted towns around.
So it's like an imbalanced like distribution.
Very much so. Very much so. And it's like kind of like how we were talking about before. Like it's kind of, they're right next to each other.
Right.
And they bounce off of each other. And that kind of growing up that way, you know, I saw a lot of different neighborhoods, a lot of different environments, a lot of different. There was times in my life, like with my family, my single mom, where we had no money, and then there was times where she got married and like caught a inheritance really quick, and we had money for a second. It was like, oh shit, and then right back down, and then now there's me and my brother, because now my brother's born. So like, there was a lot of like flux.
Right.
There was a lot of change, and I think that because of that change. And you want to talk like nature versus nurture, because of the ADHD that was already in there. Like I developed a soft spot for change. I like change. I like exploration. I get bored. Yeah. You know, really easily, and I also, not being in one place for too long, I never really felt like where I think a lot of people could grow up in one place for their whole life. They're like, this is my people. We all look the same. We all have the same culture, the same values, the same food, the same heritage. Right. I was always in all different ones. Right. And I had like uncles and aunts coming around that are not blood related, and they're like, oh, you're going to have, you know, Italian food. You're going to have sausage because it's going to put hair on your chest. And I'm like, I don't want hair on my chest. So in taking all that, I kind of like developed a taste for it. Right. And that became the deciding factor for me to end up moving to New York. I moved to New York when I was 19 because I started to feel stale there. I started to feel in Connecticut. I started to feel like nothing was happening, nothing was moving. Everybody around me was just all kind of the same. Right. Or like interested in being the same. Right. And that doesn't work for me. You know, like I tried to do it for some time. It just doesn't work for me. Right. You know, I can't help it but to be kind of like weird. You know, like, so. I mean, like, I know like rural America, like any place that isn't like a metropolitan area, like in America, it's like always like the same kind of thing. It's like, there's nothing to do. Everybody literally is the same. Like, and they're all like, I don't know, like there's no such thing as even like an aspiration in environments like that. Right. Like, it's like, oh, like nobody even thinks like better for themselves. Ambition is like not a thing. Yeah. You know, the peak of like what your life could be is essentially boxed into just this zone. Right. Whereas like what we were talking about before, walking around New York, like New York City is this like, it's constantly changing. It's constantly moving. There's constantly new things happening. There's new people you're walking past. Literally, you could have an experience that changes your life on the street just on the way somewhere. Yeah. And I love that. Like that, like chance. That oh my God, 1,000%. It's like free will, but like on 1,000, because it's not even your free will. It's like anybody's free will can affect you and impact you in any given day. And everybody's free will is affecting you, even if you don't realize. Right. And my free will is affecting the next person. Even just like if you're standing in the way of somebody on the street, that like extra second that it took for them to get around you is not in a huge way maybe, but it's changing their day. Yeah. You know, like it's interaction. It's cool. It's dope. And I think it's dope that you like really pursued that like thirst for life, you know, or like however you want to word it, like. That's dope. Yeah, I don't want to ever live anywhere else. In New York? If I had to live somewhere else, it would be like a completely different country. It would be like Morocco. I always say that all the time. Like, yeah, no, to move out of New York, I would have to go like out of the country. Because what other state is there that's like California sucks? Yeah. I'm sorry. Like, yo, I like the West, but people are like LA is the competitor, and I'm like, I've met enough people from LA, and LA is not like, competing with New York. I just like. We're gonna get flamed for that. No, we shouldn't, because like you want to compare it to, because like what LA has Hollywood, and it's like it's like New York. Not only is like the financial capital of the entire fucking world, because it's the financial capital of like one of the richest countries in the world, blah blah blah, whatever. It's like also just like a real cultural hub. I'm sorry, but LA is based off being fake. It's based off being an image. It's based off being like an audition. Like you're Hollywood. You're in Hollywood. That's not New York. New York is grimy. It's real. There's also the factor of like, you know, like medium is the message. Right. That kind of like line of thought. Yeah. the way that people interact with each other out there is just. And again, like, this is grain of salt. I've never been there, so there's a part of me that's talking out of theory here. But people are driving, and they're separated. Right. Whereas on the street here, like, you have to interact with lots of different types of people. There's no other way around it. Nah. And
29,000 people per fucking square mile or whatever it is.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Last I looked at the numbers, it was like, I think it's like 9 million. People total.
In total?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Dude, that's crazy. It's crazy to think, like, that's 9 million out of, like, what, fucking 330, what is it, 30 million America? 300 million America? I don't know the number. I always forget.
I don't really even care about
Who cares?
Yeah, but
that's
it might sound like
that's what I'm saying. Like, we have the impact because we have so many people, like, get out of here, LA.
Right, right.
But anyway, to move it forward, I just wanted to, like, pick your brain to get, like, that pre-context of who Avery is before I ask this great, fantastic, formulated question that you've probably heard before.
Yes, I have.
Avery Savage, the name, the image, the aura, and the energy. Pretty much, how do you start with everything you do, especially the photography? How do you get to this very point? Kind of like everything that happens from 19-year-old you to this point now.
Total storm. Total storm. Photography was an accident.
Really?
For sure, yeah. I used to draw a lot as a kid.
And that's what you thought you were doing?
I mean, I just, that was like the way for me that was like a hobby for me, was like drawing, and I used to draw graffiti and stuff.
Nice.
And when I came to New York, I was like trying to do music, and that wasn't really working out, and I felt like I was banging my head against the wall. And I got a camera thinking like, okay, maybe I could have like an album release party somewhere. And this is so like ass backwards, but I was like, I can take photos to put on the wall for the album release party, for the music, for people to come and listen to the music. Right. And then I started doing that, and I was running around with like this band of misfits that some of them were from my hometown. Some of them were like visiting the city and everything. Right. And we all just kind of came together randomly, and I started running around with them, and I was taking pictures of them, and it just kind of like, it worked. Like it clicked. It clicked, nice. And I just started getting like invites to stuff, and I was getting into these rooms and everything that were just like so, like talking about story before, like going into places that felt like this is the New York story. This is the New York experience. Right. This crazy random dinner for like some designer. You know what I mean? Yeah. And having a camera felt like it gave me an immediate definition to the people that were around, because they were like, "Oh, I want to have my photo taken." You know. Yeah. So it basically put me into a good position to just like move as much as possible, and then I started getting good at it. Now that was like late 2017, I want to say. So now we're coming up on 8 years. Is that? Yep. Yeah. So I've been doing it for a while, and there was a time when it was only street photography. Mm-hmm. I'm really interested in the way that people's lives work and the way that they live authentically. Right. And street photography was doing that. So you were just shooting people like in action? Like, yeah, just nice. Like stuff that was happening on the street. Yeah. And I got really good at that. And then I hit a point where I felt like I was kind of plateauing. And I was like, what's the next logical thing? Right. And the next logical thing was like, you have to enter into the fashion spaces. And I was like, oh shit! Like, I was like, I don't know how to. I was about to say, like, before this, were you like any like knowledgeable of like fashion? It was just kind of like, I had no idea. I mean, now, like, at the time when I first started, I was like, I don't understand why everybody's so interested in this thing, because it's clear that like fashion is a big part of like the New York City culture, right? And I think the definition that changed it for me was, oh, she want to say what's up into the mic. Say something, Chi-Chi. She's about to. The thing that changed it for me was the fact that I think I started doing research into it to try to like learn more. And I like doing that in general. Like I like to dig into things and have the 30 tabs open on my computer. You know what I mean? At like 1 a.m, I'm like, what's
the rabbit hole?
You know? Right. And the definition was basically like fashion is just the art you wear on your body.
Right.
And through that art, you're giving your definition to the people that are around you. And I never thought about it like that. I was always thinking of it as like it's an exclusive thing. It's a this, it's a that.
Yeah.
And when I started to look at it like, okay, this is just a different medium of like self-expression, that kind of unlocked it. Because then it's like, oh, everything is fashion. Everything that we're wearing is fashion.
Right.
Because it's all transmitting.
And it doesn't have to be like designer or like this giant executed thing. It literally like anything you wear. Just
anything that's a choice involving like the way you
appearance,
present yourself is fashion.
And so I could only imagine it was like once having this different like perspective and like unlocking this like viewpoint of it all, it was quite easy to like fuse the two. Well, photography and fashion in itself, even without all the knowledge, is kind of hand in hand, but I feel like it gives you like a different artistic like control over like anything you do in a sense. So how would I even say this? Like, how would I word this? What were your first endeavors where you started like crossing these worlds and like, you know, like using your artistry?
I was lucky. So my friend Kevin had a roommate that my friend Kevin's roommate, Kate, at the time, was working at a fashion brand. And I don't know about saying the name of the brand per se. But she was working at a brand that's like, you know, decently well known, and they have like collections and everything. And she basically, just through the connection of Kevin, was like, hey, Avery, like I noticed that you're like, you know, you're shooting all these different things. It could be a good thing for you to come shoot the runway that we have coming up.
Nice.
And that was probably like scariest day of my life. Like honestly, when I got that, I was bartending. I was bartending on Prince Street, and you know, like the word came through that it was locked in or whatever, and we had been talking about it.
Right.
And I hadn't even like given up a shift. Like I was like, I have to stay going to work, whatever.
Right.
And I got the word, okay, you're going to go to the show. The walk was on the west side at the piers. And I had like this dinky little camera that like, now I'm like, I could, you know, it doesn't really matter what the thing is. If you can see the vision, then you can shoot it.
Right.
But at the time I was like, oh no, like I'm not going to look professional. Like I'm not gonna. I was at work until like 4 p.m. and the show was at like 5. Like, and I had to like shoot up to. So I went on my phone and I ordered a lens, like a professional, what I thought was a professional lens at B&H. Shot over to B&H. Mind you, this was like, it costed me like $170 and I had like 180 in my bank account. Like,
oh my god!
I just was like, and I didn't even end up like really truly like needing the lens, which was so dumb. But I still have it, and I can still use it. But so I shot over to B&H after my shift was over, and then shot down to the. And mind you, I have like my work clothes. Like I was like wearing, and it was like a nicer place to be working at, but it was like still like my work clothes.
Yeah.
So I shot down over there and showed up for this thing, and it's all these like fashion photographer, like, you know, the guys that have like the vest with all the pockets and the, you know, like
they're there for what they're there for. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, like they're like get out of my way, right? Like, and I'm like, I was like maybe like 23 or 24. Like I was like not even deep into photography. Like I didn't know lighting. I didn't know shit.
Right.
And I basically walked into this place and I wiggled my way. I walked in with Kate and she was like, I think you should probably run over there. And I was like, okay. Like I ran over, wiggled my way into the front. Actually, I'm like, do. And the fucking lights drop and they're walking down the thing and I'm just like, tick, 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 tick. The photos ended up being pretty good.
Nice.
They were, you know, like I had like I said, I started off drawing, so like I had like a natural proclivity for visual, art.
Right.
And obviously now I would probably do it better or do it a little differently, but it was okay.
Oh yeah.
And from there it was like they brought us to the after party, and I'm at the after party. I'm like, oh, hi, everybody. Like, and they rented out like a cool club that was in Manhattan, and it's an open bar and everything. And that just like it clicked for me. I was like, wait, this is like the high life. This is like the money. You know what I mean? They rented the whole place out. Yeah. It's like all these models walking down the runway. All these people are like clamoring. Everybody has like crazy cool fits on everything. Everybody knows each other. Like, I felt like I had like gotten access to this thing. And so from there I was like, I got to do this more. Like, I got to keep doing this. Like, this has to be the way to be a photographer.
It's a great like opportunity, social networking, all that stuff.
1000%. And that really flicked the switch for me. And I had my time doing that. I think I shot like 2 or 3 other runways. One of them was really big. I shot a runway for Sandy Liang, which is like big, like Orchard Street downtown kind of brand. That's done a lot of stuff in the past few years, but that was an even scarier day. And I got to this point where I had gone to presentations. I shot events. I started kind of like chasing it every year. And then I hit a moment where I was like, I don't really understand why all of this matters. You know what I mean?
Right.
And everybody has this like attachment to it. And so I dialed back, and I was like, maybe I'll do some work to like learn about this. Right. And I started investing into more research and stuff. And a fashion week came up where I was like, instead of hunting for a party to go shoot or like a event to be a part of or to get onto see a runway or whatever that I don't understand, that I don't know about, I'm going to stay inside this week and avoid all of the craziness. And obviously still going to work and everything, but I'm going to stay inside and I'm going to watch like documentaries. And I watched a documentary on Deanna Vreeland and all her time that she spent at like Vanity Fair or I think she was maybe Harper's Bazaar, but she spent time at one of those, and then she was at Vogue for some time. And I like learned so much, and I learned about how it works. Right. And that was like the second door opening to be like, oh, this is something that you can imbue spirit into. Right. And that's where the core of it really comes in.
That's so cool. So like, it's like getting your foot in the door and being like, this is dope. Like seeing that it has the potential, and then like really internalizing it and like putting your soul into it. I think that's fucking dope. And looking back at it now, do you like still enjoy like runway shows and like fashion, like all that aspect, or do you feel like it's like, oh, it was cool for that time, but that's not where like my photography
I mean photographically, like meh, you know what I mean? Like it's very much like I told you, I get bored easily. It's a lot of work to try and get into those things. And I think that based on the amount of work that it is and then what you walk away with, they're just kind of incongruent. Like I think that what it means for like an influencer or a social media person, or like I run a media thing, you know what I mean? Like it means a lot more for them to be there than it does for me to show shots that look just like the 30 other photographers that are sitting around me. And also I don't love the like exclusivity of it, I think that there's a lot of places that art lives and exists, and I think that there are a lot of places that are just pulling from those places and creating like a clone, you know what I mean? Or creating like
the industry version.
Like, right. Exactly that. Yeah. Exactly that. So the last couple of years I've been more interested in like finding like truer experiences, Oh yeah. And figuring out, experimenting with fashion myself, and like, I've been working in production, which is like, setting up, like I'm unfolding the table and putting the snacks out and picking up garbage. I was gonna ask that,
even like, where does where do you transition from like this beginner thing, like doing the runway shows? What like pretty much what do you do next from there in the sense of like photography and just creative ventures, and also when do you eventually? How do you get to like hosting your own things, doing your own things, and like putting your own touch on everything?
I mean, after doing, here, let me fix this.
No worries.
After doing like, you know, 1 show, 2 shows, I did a book, and that was really cool. And then
it was just like a book of your work?
It was all street photography and portraits of people.
Wow.
That I had, you know, gotten over like 4 or 5 years. And we dropped that the November before COVID happened, which was like perfect timing. It was cold out, and so everybody that came to the event like stayed, which is a hack. Such a hack. like if you want to,
that's smart. That's what I'm thinking,
dude. Like in summertime, everybody's got mad plans.
Yeah.
But if you want to do something where you like know that your crowd is gonna pull up and they're gonna like stay and hang, just make sure you have drinks. And make sure that it's in November. You know, like that's really the wave. But we did the book, and I anytime I say we, I usually mean me and Madison, or me, Madison, and like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people that are like part of the team or whatever.
Circle,
right?
Nice.
Which is developing. But so we did the book, got that into a bunch of stores, which was really cool. And then COVID happened. And I hit a point where I was like, you know, I'm going to kind of take a break because everybody was taking a break.
Yeah, it's like there's no work. Nobody can like link up, anything.
Yeah, I mean, and I had been taking so many photos of people out at parties and stuff for so long. And then when everything shut down, I was like, you know, I had a call with my uncle, and he was like, he's Sicilian from Yonkers. He's like, bro, you gotta go over to Times Square. Like, and I'm like, I don't want to take pictures of nothing. Like, he's like, it's so empty. I'm like, that's not interesting. I want to see life. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I kind of put the camera down for that year, and I was the most relaxed I'd ever been. Those unemployment checks were coming in. I was not working, but I was making money. Like, I was like, I paid all my debts off and everything. And I started painting. Just because there was like a wood panel sitting in my kitchen from one of my other roommates, and I made this painting one night that was just like fucking sick. Like, it was amazing. Like, it was so, and because I wasn't thinking about like, how do I make a sick painting?
Yeah, like the end product. Yo, bro. Oh my god. Not to like get on a tangent, but like that's
please.
When anything creative, that's literally me. It's not. It's not even. And it's like. It's not me. It's more so just like I feel like society's effect on me, or maybe me projecting society's thinking onto myself. Because like I just get so upset with like number one, worrying about the final product. Because inherently, if you're worrying about the final product, you're worrying about what other people are thinking about the final product or perceiving it or anything of the sort, rather than just creating it, doing it, and being okay with it, even if
like
it sucks.
Some Nike shit, like just do it.
Yeah, so that's cool. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that's a problem we all have. You know,
I don't know if it's social media or whatever.
I think it has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, it's tough to try to like work your way out of the things that you feel society expects of you,
right?
And to remember that society is really just like it's an idea of like, you know, it's bodiless, disembodied voice.
Like, we are society. Society isn't us. Right. Like, you feel me?
Oh my god. First couple lines of Mos Def's Black on Both Sides. Now his name is Yasin Bey. One of the greatest albums of all time. But he opens it up, and there's a part where he mentions like, people be asking me all the time, like, where do you think hip hop is going? What's going on with hip hop? Is hip hop dying? Blah blah blah. And he's like, they talk about it like it's some giant sleeping in the mountainside, but we are hip hop.
Right.
And it's like we are society. We are. If New York is dying, it's because we're not bringing it to life. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
It's just letting it die.
You have to do the things that you want to, like, be the change, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you have to do the thing that you feel like you want to see. And I think that we get so caught up in seeing like what everybody else is doing, and we don't realize that if you just do the thing that you like to do, there's other people that are feeling the same way as you. Right. And that's like when we do the portrait party stuff, it's like, I'm like, bro, everybody is y'all are all good looking in your own way. like it's very much like you kind of just, you have to initiate.
Right.
You have to be the one that kind of makes that first step.
Yeah. Oh man, I think it's like so. Like, it's so important to address, like, not being a bystander in your own life, you know? Like, I feel like it's so easy to get caught up in, like, whether it's, like, fucking, doom scrolling, brain rot, I'm stuck on my couch, I'm stuck watching the TV.
Right.
Like, it's like you have, I don't know.
No, you do. You do know. That's exactly it. It's like, it's not getting stuck into those systems that are meant to distract you or meant to guide you into a certain thing. Like, I think a lot of what sucks about not living in the city is, like, if anybody lives in the suburbs, a lot of the only way that you experience the world is through the TV. And that's something that I try not to take for granted living here, is that we go outside and there's shit happening all the time, bro. Like, you could go, any given day, you could have 6 things that you could go to that you would be interested in, where you would connect with people and you would learn things and you would hear their ideas and change your thoughts about things, versus if you're kind of just, like, isolated in the burbs or whatever, you're just listening to whatever the news tells you is lit. You know what I mean? Like,
dude, it's honestly, like, it's insane that you say that, because, like, you know, I spent, like, my fucking teen years upstate, like, from 14 to, like, 19, and I really do think that it had, like, this terrible effect on me when it comes to, like, literally, like, isolation, being on the phone a bunch, being, like, on the TV a bunch, like, having a really fucked up perception of the world compared to, like, being, like, in the world, you know? And it's just like,
because that'll be a thing too. Like, they'll say, like, shit is crazy, like, on the news, and shit is absolutely crazy. That's just no denying that. But, like, sometimes you be on the phone and it's like, shit is crazy, but then you go outside and it's like birds chirping.
Yo, like, for real. And you're like, this is a piece of shit that's just causing me, like, distress.
Because that's how they get views and eyeballs and attention and all that. Like, and you go out and it's like, you talk to somebody and they're like, they completely flip your whole mental narrative,
right?
You know, but if you don't do that, if you stay sitting on the phone, then
you're fucked up. You'll, like, watch your whole life pass you by and you're just there, like,
what had you come back down? Because you said 14 to 19, right?
Yeah, so, oh man, good question. I don't know if I've talked about it, probably have, because this is, like, in my young life, this is, like, the arc of my life. It's like, I got put upstate and it was so horrible. In reality, I lived in the Bronx till I was 14. I was a child, you know. When I hit 14, like 13, 14, I was allowed to, like, go outside for, like, the first time, and it was like, oh my god, this is so great, like, hang out with my friends. And then my mom was like,
go outside, like I could go by myself,
like, just
to places,
like literally just I can go outside by myself, and it's not even like, I can go on, like, to Manhattan or, like, to anywhere. It's just, like, even, like, around my local neighborhood and shit, like, you know, like, finally being like, okay, I'm old enough to not get, like, abducted and, like, go into the world,
know what's
you know,
going on,
you know, and awareness. So after that, like, I don't know, my mom was like, all the schools in the Bronx are ghetto, and I don't want you to go into high school in the Bronx, because da-da-da, like, all these excuses, like, you have a mouth on you, I don't need you getting fucking jumped, or fucking someone's bitch, or da-da-da, like, something. Yes.
It's so real.
Yo,
but two, you do so have a mouth on you.
Yo, bro, and, like, I'm here, like, yo, oh my god.
You do.
It's so funny because, like, when I was younger, like, yes, I guess I was, like, problematic. The thing is, I'm very opinionated, and when I was younger, I didn't have, like, the shut the fuck up Michael button. Yeah. So I would just have an opinion. I would just say it. It's like, like, especially, like, when you're younger, it's like, what is this kid doing? Like, you look like a fucking fool. Like, whatever. Anyway,
I don't think it's a bad thing to be opinionated. I do think that you do need to have, like, not you specifically, but I think it's important to have.
There's a line to it.
Yeah, like,
because you can shut a lot of doors on yourself by speaking too much, especially if someone, like, you know, we live in a fucked up world where 100%. A lot of people are not going to agree with you, and that's life. Like, so it is what it is, you know. But long story short, just all these reasons, like, I don't want you going to school out here, whatever, blah blah. I'm like, fine. I'm, like, thinking, like, I'm fucking going.
You got the Fresh Prince treatment.
Yeah, you know, like, fucking moving with your auntie in Bel Air. Whatever. My stepdad had won a lawsuit because he got hurt at, like, work, like, when I was really young. So we, like, got, like, fucking hella money, like an M or two, and fucking they were like, fuck it, we're going to the suburbs. We moved to yo,
we out.
Yeah, like I'm thinking like it's supposed to be like, oh yeah, we won, like we're getting out the hood type shit. Right. But I was distressed and pissed off. Like all my friends are in the Bronx. This is the first year that like I'm allowed to like be social and like have a little life. And now
it feels like it just immediately got taken away.
Right, you know. Yeah. So whatever, I go upstate. Yo, bro, and in that 5 years, like, it was just such a weird, isolating, like, Twilight Zone experience. Like, it's like, wow, like, the world I thought I knew is gone. And, like, yo, literally, like, everything's through the phone, through the TV. And then, mind you, I was 14 in 2017. Mm-hmm. So, we're talking from 2017 to, like, what, 2022? Mm-hmm. Like, this is a very different... Like, do you see how much changed within that time period? Like, with COVID and stuff? So...
Well, I think when I met Lena, she was on her way coming from visiting you up there.
Yeah, that was like that was we weren't even a year into our relationship yet. I had brought her up to like visit my parents and like meet my parents and see the house and stuff, and it was cool, you know. And that was the end of me living there. That at that point I was so fed up. Right. I mean, not to get ahead of myself. It's like I'm fucking isolated. I'm miserable. I'm in this school with a bunch of like the monoculture, like people who have no ambitions for themselves.
Is the word.
They are like, you know, high school athletes. They're peaking in high school. Yep. They're gonna look back at this part of their life as like the greatest part of their life.
They're all getting married to each other.
Yes. Like getting married, like 18. Kids going to the military. Kids want to be cops. It's like so gross. Mind you, Orange County, New York, in like this vicinity of like. Because it's like an hour away from the city, so it's technically not like upstate like Albany, you know. Yeah. And this whole vicinity, it's the only red like county. Really. Like, because New York City's blue, Westchester County is blue because it's in proximity to the city. Right. And then like blue, red. So everyone here is super MAGA.
Specific, yeah.
Super Republican.
Oh my God, the psychic toll of that. That's why I don't like leaving the city, to be honest. Because I've had some weird experiences.
Right. Like, I'm telling you, like, in this high school, like, I had white kids, like, try to press me for, like, not standing for the pledge. Like, what is that your business? Because your daddy served in the army. You're hurt that I fucking... And what is the... Sorry, not to get off tangent. What is the synonymousness with the U.S. Army and the Pledge of Allegiance? Like, the military is not inherently the government. If I'm critical of the government, you think I hate your fucking veteran grandfather? I don't. You know? Anywho. Whatever. Anywho. You know, just like all this shit over real, I swear to God. Like all this bullshit that just pissed me off. Like just like, yo, like Twilight Zone, like you're living in white America. Right. Anywho. So by the time I'm like 18, 19, you know, and like COVID happens, BLM happens, I'm like very much educating myself politically and like you're like I'm understanding the world, like even from this
I got a kitty on my foot.
Oh my God, she won't stop. Long story short,
you're hitting that moment of like radicalization.
And I'm just like, and again, it's all like literally the whole story of this like time period of my life is just finding myself and my footing in the world. And I think that like me going upstate retrogressed my progress a lot. Like it took me very far back, but I still did it. And anywho, by the time I get to like 18, 19, I'm like, fuck this. I hate where I live. I'm not going to become anything if I stay here. I need to get the fuck out. And I didn't have any plan. And I didn't have any plan to leave. That was just how I felt. And then
I do want to say, I want to put a pin in it for a second and say the idea of like, you know, I feel like I retrogressed or I went backwards or like, I don't think that that's necessarily true because
progress isn't linear. I know that.
Well, and even beyond like progress itself, it's like, you know, the like, you know, you've seen all the early like Avengers movies and shit, right?
Yeah.
Like, you remember when they talk about time travel and they're like, you know, if you go forwards and then you go back, that's still the same timeline. You know what I mean? Like that's the next step in your timeline. It's all technically moving forward. Right. I feel like when we have these periods of like, oh, I feel like I'm not progressing. Like the time is still moving, and the only evidence that you need to know that you developed in that time, not backwards, is the fact that you came to the conclusion that you did that led you back to coming back down here. Right. So I think that understanding that like there are these periods that we have to have of like, you know, this is like counter to what my spirit is telling me. That is going to alert you to what the shape of your spirit is. Right. In the first place. You know what I mean? Like,
100%.
I don't think it's a bad thing, you know.
And I say this all the time. Like I'm very grateful for this shitty time period that I always shit on it. I'm like, upstate, it was whack, it was terrible. I really do appreciate that time period because it gave me a lot of perspective. So when I came back down here, like, even though I do fall into like unproductivity or like being stuck in the house, but I realize like how important it is to like be able to go outside, to be able to hang out with your friends, to be able to like do all this shit, you know. And
now you have better perspective, right? As a result.
But you know, like I
had that same thing. I was in the not community college, but like the school that like everybody just kind of filters into for like 2 years, and I was like, man, like this shit ain't it.
Yeah.
You know, and now I appreciate being here that much more.
Yeah,
you know?
dude. Like, it was just so much. Like, even being in high school and, like, people are, like, talking about what colleges they want to apply to. And someone's like...
Didn't feel right.
They're like, oh, I'm going to apply to, like, FIT and try to make it into the city. And it's like,
Right.
wow, like, you need to get into this, like, little prestigious school in order to go to the city. Like, I'm like, fuck that. Like, I don't want to be... And then if I commit to a school upstate, I'm stuck upstate. I was like, fuck that. I tried college for a month, whatever. Anyway.
Right.
With all this being said, now to wrap it up, because I'm just yapping.
No, you can... That's what... We're literally
That's
here
what
to
it
yap.
is. The yap cast.
That is... Bro, even if we hadn't had microphone and recording and everything, I would have been wanting to do this anyway.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, that's literally... That's the type of time that I've been trying to be on lately in the first place.
That's why I started, like, I took, like, 2 months off of the pod, and I was like, I need to yap. I need to, like, fucking...
I think it helps everybody. I think it helps us work through things.
It really helps me, like, perceive myself. And, like, a lot of times when most of the time when I have a podcast guest on, I usually have, like, my own shit going on in life. And I'll talk to them about, like, whatever they're talking about. And somehow I'll end up resonating with something they said that helps me, like, with my own, like, shit. And I'm like, oh, wow. Like, there's some perspective for you.
The healing power of art.
Yeah, right?
Like,
you know?
like, that's literally...
And that's why, like...
That's what art is, bro. It's literally... It's not like a fucking thing that's on a wall somewhere that, like, is in a gallery or something. Like, there are people that make it that, and it's not that. It's this. That reflection and that connection and understanding and digging through shit to understand it better and using different languages to say the same thing, you know?
Right.
Like, what can I say with a sculpture that's going to resonate the same as, like, an activity or an action, you know?
Dude, and, yeah, man, I guess, like...
She's living over here, bro.
She's
loving it. she clawed on to my leg, and I've grown up around cats and everything. My mom has cats, so I know the vibe, you know. But she's just like, wait, I'm gonna hold on, and then it's like a ride for her.
Yeah,
so
it's like she'll gator roll.
Yeah.
Hey, she's ridiculous.
She's mad funny.
No, but
I love friendly animals, bro.
Yeah, me too. No, both of my cats are great, but Chi-Chi is like so friendly. Like the other one, she's very skeptical
she's
still.
Scared,
you know,
nervous.
She's a black cat, so she's like the scaredy cat. You know.
Yeah.
But Chi-Chi is like the friendliest friendliest animal I think I've ever met. Like even dogs aren't like so cuddly; they're just like in your face.
I watched one of those Netflix like a breakdown, like how it works or whatever. Like Explained, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Shout out Netflix for sponsoring this podcast.
I need sponsors. That would keep this shit running. That'd be great.
No, I watched Explained, and it was the one about dogs. And they were like, dogs have... Hi, baby. Yeah. Wait, I'm going to take a flick.
Yeah, do it.
Right. It was like dogs have this because their smell and their senses are so developed, they can basically like detect like anxiety. They can detect the moods and emotions and everything that you are going through based on the like pheromones or the chemicals that your body's releasing as a reaction to those things. Yeah. And I was like, bro, like that's crazy. That's why they're like support dogs.
Yeah, you know emotional service like animals and all that stuff.
Right.
People be having like emotional service alligators. I'm like, he knows when you're nervous.
That's cap, bro. I'm sorry.
You know, he hugs you. He comes up to you when you're crying in distress.
Alligator named
Chi-Chi does that.
Named Ferdinand.
Chi-Chi, when anyone in the house is like crying or like distressed or like anything like that, Chi-Chi will come up to you and just like rub her whole face. Yeah,
they know something.
Yep.
Well, and the show also said it was like that's why. You know, people are like, dogs can tell, like, smell fear or whatever. Yeah. They can tell if you're nervous around them, and then they'll react to that nervousness. Right. And I had always kind of, like, I feel like you kind of know that, but, like, hearing it from, like, they were like, okay, science.
I don't think they, like, explain it as clear enough, though, because, like, oh, he could tell if you're scared, and you think, like, oh, if I'm scared, he's gonna, like... be upset or like fuck with me or something, and it's like no, the dog just knows you're scared, like he's aware of your emotions. So.
Well, and understanding it from the perspective of like pheromones or whatever, I was like, okay, that makes a lot more sense than just the phrase,
just the psychic, the psychic ability to know what you're thinking.
He's like, like, you know,
based off your face.
But I honestly, you know that feeling like you're in public and like somebody's dog comes up to you is like such a like yes.
Yeah.
They're like, you're verified, bro. Stamp on you.
All the time. All the time. Like in the park, on the street, all the time. Around the block. It's a cute French bulldog.
I'm so glad I never had like a bad experience with an animal growing up. Because I feel like that would suck. Because then you're just perpetuate, you know? Because then you're nervous all the time.
I never even thought about that. I guess like even my bad experiences with animals like are technically like objectively good in my head because I love animals. Right. But I never realized that's definitely like the source of fear for a lot of people. And they're like, oh, I hate cats. Oh, I fucking don't want a dog. It's like, oh, who hurt you when you were young?
Right. And that's literally what it comes down to. It's what happened when you were young. I've been thinking a lot about that lately, like where our identities come from. Mm-hmm. And hence the like sitting down, having conversations. I told you I've been doing the photos at people's apartments and stuff. Yeah. The cool thing about that is like the same thing that you were saying when you're talking with somebody about something that's on them, and it gives you insight into something that's with you. That's been like the main thing for this is like sitting down and you know, you shoot photos of somebody in the street and it's like all the energies around you are all interjecting and interplaying with what's going on, so you're kind of getting this like hazy image of each other. But when you're with somebody at their place, like how like literally how we're sitting Cult of Personality podcast, you know, all day. Like when you're sitting in somebody's space, you're cutting out all the noise of society, you know, like, and you get a real like honest understanding insight of them and then yourself as well.
When you were on your way for the pod, I'm like talking to my partner and I'm like, yo, bro, like we have a nice crib. Like, why don't people come over more often? Yeah. Like, this is crazy. Like, you're like,
you guys got to host a cookout.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I saw that space you got out front too.
I've said that for months now. I'm like, yo, we need to just get a grill and just do it. Like, you know, like
hit the Facebook Marketplace or whatever.
Yo, you know,
$25.
I'm gonna do that before the summer's over for sure. They even have like the little portable grills you could buy at like the supermarket and they're like $20. Like for real, they're not the best, but they'll fucking cook.
You don't
something.
need like a, you know, like a deluxe whatever.
Right.
It's like I was talking about the. You know, you could shoot with whatever camera. It's really just about what it is you're shooting, how you're shooting it. Right. You know.
Yeah, man. What was I saying? Oh, just to let me think. I feel like there was like so many thoughts to wrap up, and like I feel like I like lost it. It's all good though. Talking about. Wow, I really just lost my track. You know how it goes though. This happens all the time on the pod though. It's like, oh shit, what was I thinking about?
Hi baby.
No, yeah. Eventually though. Oh, we were talking about like me in Brooklyn and coming back and stuff like that. Yeah. Long story short though, while I was up there I was making music. I really like music and art, and I met a lot of kids on the internet, and I was like, wow, like I need to be in the world because I want to pursue things in life, and I want to, even if I'm not like a fucking like rock star, it's just like I want to be in spaces. You watch like concerts on YouTube and you're like, wow, I want to be there, you know? So anyway, long story short, like fucking
I did notice that you're like obviously Cult of Personality, and you play Cult of Personality.
Living Color,
yeah. Guitar Hero Classic, of course, but I noticed that there's like a music spin to it, and that a lot of the guests that you have on are like tend to be like you veer towards like the music.
That's how it started. Yeah. Again, when I was up like right before I left and came back down here, I had started the podcast in like 2022 in like February, March. And I literally just started by interviewing like my friends who made music that I met on the internet, and I was like, fuck it, like I like to watch, because I was watching like hella wrestling podcasts, and I was like, fuck it, I like to watch podcasts about people who fake fight and like talk about it, so why wouldn't people want to watch like people talking about how they make their music or what goes behind their music, especially like these kids who aren't gonna get on like No Jumper or like any other like these like Drink Champs or whatever Barstool, whatever people like listen to, I'm not sure, but like, you know, and that's where it came from. And so with all of this, like with creating, with not liking the environment I was in, being very uncomfortable, and then like personal problems with me and my mother, it was just like, all right. And like that money that we got from the fucking the compensation, my stepdad's money, that shit went out the window eventually. It was all spent on the house and pointless shit, you know, whatever.
That's how it goes.
You know? And then eventually I was like, all right, there's nothing left for me here. My mom's moving out because my fucking parents are splitting and all this, and I'm like, and she was like, pretty much like, you got to find your own place, because like this place that the places I'm looking at only have room for me and your sister, you know. And it's like, so you got to find your own spot. And it's like, oh, okay, like, fuck, I don't know where the fuck I'm going to go. Like, I'm going to have to find a place upstate that I can afford, or like something. And then I met...
And so you ventured down.
And then,
you ended up deciding to venture down.
Yeah, it's I was just, every morning I was like at a fucking fight with my mom. I was looking for jobs, and then I met Lena, and I found a job down here. And I was able to stay at Lena's mom's place for a bit.
I remember running into you guys.
Yes.
When me and Madison were sitting at the park.
Yes.
And I think that was actually the first time that you and I met in person.
Yes. Yeah, because, oh my god.
Damn, she's breakdancing over here.
She's going crazy. I've never seen her do this before. She's acting nuts with you. I don't know what it is. I've never seen her do this. Unless she's like playing with her hair or something.
She's wildin'.
Chi-Chi.
She just invented a new move.
I think so.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, yeah, and so, yeah, the timing works out crazy, because Lena met you and Madison when they were coming back from my place at the end of 2022. Within that time period, like in the end of 2022, like November, December, like I was already staying like with Lena and their mom. And then by February 2023, we had this spot. So like that was super blessed, and I think that was just the universe like really just like, yo, like here's like guiding me through like where I needed to go. Like it was crazy.
Well, and going back to the idea of like it wasn't wasted time. Like I think that, you know, have you ever seen Curious Case of Benjamin Button?
Yeah, it's the dude who ages backwards, right?
Yeah. I love that movie. I mean, I don't know that it's like considered like a classic or anything, but it's like one of my favorites. But it's like the scene where the dancer chick is like coming out of the studio or whatever, and it goes in kind of like in reverse in true form to the movie or whatever, where he's like, a postal worker had not set his alarm and blah blah blah, and it's like, and it goes, the postal worker didn't set his alarm, so then that affected this lady that was, you know, supposed to deliver some other thing, and then that affected this guy who showed up to work, and then he decided to have a second cup of coffee, and then do, and it all goes, you know, like a sort of butterfly effect, lands with, like, you know, in the movie, you know, she crosses the street at the wrong time, and she like gets hit by a car, she breaks her leg, can't dance forever after that. That scene, I feel like I always go back to that, because it's like, that's how our lives are. And we don't have like the luxury of being able to, the luxury or the curse really, to be able to see all of those little things that could have been or would have been. The
objective, the bigger pictures, and all the alternates. It's like
forest. Like we're in the trees. We can't see, you know, we can't see the forest. Like, but I think it's good to remember and call back on, like, you know, sometimes we go like a weird sort of like,
life is a crazy
circuitous route, like in order to get to the same, or to get to the thing that we actually ended up needing. Right. You know. Right. And we don't know, but it's like, oh, that sucked. You know, like I didn't want to. You know what happened to me the other day? I was going up. Madison had a work event, and so she needed me to grab something from Michael's. Weird. So I went to Michael's. I city biked up like super fast. I was like risking my life and shit, like, because they were going to close in like 30 minutes. But she needed me to pick up like a little tripod for her phone. And so I booked it up there, grabbed the tripod, came out, and I was like, okay, like I got to eat something. So I went over to like a halal cart that was like on the corner, and I was like, you know, this is a perfect time for me to stop and grab something. So I was going to grab some halal, and I popped in, and I was like, oh, dude, like, can I get chicken over rice, whatever. I walked up, and the dude is like, he's standing there, and he's like chopping the onions and the tomatoes and stuff. And I was like, word, like I came to the right place, because this is like, you know what I mean? Like it's like fresh, you know? Right in
your face, not like old sitting out vegetables.
Right, exactly that. And I was like, okay, like what better evidence do I need to understand like the freshness? You know what I just found out recently?
What?
The chicken at Subway sandwiches is fake chicken. I didn't know that.
How is it like?
It's like fake. I don't know. somebody told me.
I don't eat Subway, so I wouldn't even know. Like, I wish I had like the first hand experience to be like, oh, I know what you're talking about. Like when you rip it like this, it looks weird.
Right. I felt duped. Yeah. To be honest, if somebody was like, it's like the McDonald's meat is like the same. You know, I was like, I just never. Because they're like eat fresh or whatever. Yeah. You know, like that's their whole thing.
And that's bullshit.
Yeah. Because companies be lying to us, bro.
Right. Well, yeah, that's how you make business, by lying and exploiting.
Exactly.
That's why I have a terrible time navigating this whole system. This whole everything.
I think a lot of people do. Yeah. Because I think it's an unnatural thing to just like be shiesty like that and like double cross.
Super grimy.
Yeah, it's super grimy.
But so what do they do? They like mash up all the chicken and like turn it into like this conglomerate
some
chicken?
Sort of. It might be. I mean, you know, I don't know necessarily the details.
It'd be like, chicken feet, chicken bones, and chicken gizzards.
Chicken concept.
Right.
You know, like
chicken concentrate.
Chicken. Like where the juice that's like there's no juice in this.
It
contains 3% juice or 0% juice.
You're better putting broth in my sandwich than this bullshit.
Right. Well, so this guy he's chopping it up, right? Like literally chopping it up. And I was like, this is perfect. Like, let me get chicken over rice. Let me actually add lamb to that. He's like, okay, word. And I'm standing there. I'm waiting. You know, sun's like going down. It's actually like a really beautiful time of night. And I had talked to Madison, and she was like, I'm over at Staples printing, so I'll meet you over here afterwards. And I'm waiting. And I started to get to the point where I'm like, I didn't really like, you know how like a halal cart, you can't really see necessarily into,
they're kind of like elevated above you.
A little bit up, which like that's a great design. Like, you know what I mean? Like
it's like, can I have some food? Right,
literally, because that's what it is. It's like this person is making you so that your ass doesn't have to make food, right? You know, but so I can't really see what's going on enough to know if he had like put like the contents of my food down on the thing, and I'm starting to think like maybe he didn't hear me, maybe he didn't like he misunderstood me or something, right? And I'm starting to be like, because now it's like 4 minutes, 5 minutes, and I was like kind of jokey with him at first. I was like, oh yeah, man, like it looks fresh. Like he's like, and I was like, okay, like, because I be doing that, you know, like I'll go to a business and I'll be like OD friendly, and then someone's like, and I'm like,
let me dial it back. My fault.
My fault, bro. Yeah, my fault, beloved. But so I was like, okay, maybe he didn't hear me, whatever. And then so like maybe like 6 minutes has gone by, 7 minutes, and I'm kind of peeking up, right? And you know, sometimes you go to a cart, whatever, and they're like, and they flip it and they spin the thing to you, and it's quick, and it's like, you know, and you're like, oh, like that's
light work.
That's light work. Yeah, like it's like you're doing it all day, whatever. And I had asked him, or I had thought in my mind to ask him. I was like, you know, I got curious. I was like, I wonder where he lives. Like I was gonna be like, oh, where are you from, bro? And the second I thought that in my mind, he was like, you live here? And I was like, what the fuck?
Not the collective consciousness right now.
Right. And I was like, I kind of like doubled back because I was a little bit like shocked. You know, I was like, I'm sorry, what did you say? Like, he's like, you live here? Like, I was like, in like this area or what? Like, he's like, you live in America. And I was like, which is a fair question because it's like tourist, you know, whatever. Right. And I was like, yeah, like I've you know, was born here. I live in New York. You know, I live downtown. And he was like, word. I was like, where are you from? He was like, I'm from Egypt. And I was like, nice. Oh shit, bro, you got the pyramids and shit. Because I was like, you gave me license to now.
Yeah,
be
start this conversation and be friendly.
Yeah, be friendly.
You open the door, there's no closing it.
Right. He was like, yeah, man, got the pyramids. I'm like, I don't know nothing about Egypt besides that they got the pyramids and like sand and shit, but that's fire. Like, I was like, oh, bro, like, what's your name? He's like, Muhammad. And we're like talking back and forth or whatever. And he's like, yeah, no, I've been in America for 4 years. Been on this car. I'm like, you probably see a lot of people going back and forth in this area because it's a highly populated area. Right. He's like, yeah, you know, like I see it all. I was like, you know, my friend is from Sudan, which I know is like closest, like they border each other, they're close to each other. He's like, oh yeah, that's cool. And so he's like, check this out, bro. And I was like, what you gonna do? pulled the salad out and the rice and everything. He put that down, and he dumped the most amount of meat I have ever seen onto the top of this plate, bro. It was like, I literally took a picture of it. It was like, if this was like the normal size, like, you know, those little tin plates or whatever, like with the plastic top, I was like, you're not going to be able to put a lid on that, bro. Like, and he did. Yeah. And he was like, he even was like, bro, do you want to try this like special, I got these special sauces, whatever. I was like, all right, like I'll do like a little spoon. He busted out the spoon. He gave me this green sauce, no idea what it was. It was banging. It was like kind of tangy, a little sweet. Threw some of that on there. And it was like this experience of like, I felt myself getting like antsy and being like, oh, like I gotta go, you know what I mean? And it like forced me to slow the fuck down for a second and like not be checking my phone and not be like rushing on to the next, not riding the bike crazy about to hit traffic or get myself killed or something. And I thought about it afterwards, and I was like, I just waited for that, and he hooked it up. The food was probably, 10 times better than any other cart, and it was just out of the patience of it. And I probably missed some weird, funky shit that I might have seen if I had gone, you know what I mean? If it had been quick.
Right.
And that's full circle on the, like, little tiny things and details happen to you in your day that are, like, sequence. And they stack up, and then eventually you get landed in this particular spot, this particular place.
Right.
And we have no access to understanding what that is. We got to just, like...
Dude, you really just have to ride the roller coaster of life and, like, pray that all goes 100%. Well. As well as, like, it does rely on you somewhat, but, like, I feel like 70% of life is, like, Jesus or whoever you believe in is taking the wheel, right? Like, 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 I don't know, fucking Jesus head, but, like, they always say Jesus takes the wheel, right? Like, anyway, like... It's just so funny, bro. And, like, even, like, now in this moment, like, even with this room and this podcast and everything I do, like, 4 years ago, I couldn't have seen myself in this space doing any of this
scenario
with any of my friends that I know now. Like,
right.
I couldn't imagine, like, knowing such cool people and, like, doing such dope shit, and
you're doing it.
And I'm doing it because that's just where life took me, and, like, it's just crazy. It really all is just about, like, believing, trusting in the process.
Right. And that's where, like, people that are, like, of faith or of a specific religion are like, you have to, like, trust in your faith. Like, that's what faith is.
Yeah.
Is, like, recognizing that it's going to be...
It's just hope.
It's just going to be,
Yeah. Faith. Hope. However you want to believe in it, like, whatever luck. Right. However you want to perceive it.
I think it's all saying the same thing.
Right, exactly. It's all channeling
words.
The same energy. To get back on track, even though we never left it.
Back like I never left.
Right? It's pretty much, I wanted to ask you kind of like artistically some of your inspirations, because you've been into the music, you're in like involved in the fashion world, you do the photography, and any other thing I'm missing. So I know that there's a lot of inspiration that you take.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Inspiration is huge. That's a great question.
Thank you.
Inspiration in general is a huge thing. I think understanding that. I think inspiration in general tends to be thought of as like I looked at this thing and it made me think of this thing.
Right.
But I think it's if you really break it down and get into like the meat of it, inspiration is like if you're the pot, you're the stew. It's all the ingredients that you take and put into the stew, and then whatever you can make out of that is either simple or it's medium or it's rich or it's and that all depends on what things are that you put in to the pot. And when I started to understand that is when everything started to get better, like work wise.
Yeah.
Like the work that I was making is like you can't look at just like you can't just like look in your own bubble, and you can't just look at whatever's on Instagram. Like actively pursuing, documentaries about shit that you don't like, lanes that you don't even know about. Like lately, I've been really paying a lot of attention to like interior design and like setting up physical space. And that I think probably has a lot to do with all these portrait parties we do. Yeah,
I was also going to ask, like, even with like the bedroom like showcase, like the little side project you had going on, like
thinking about how are people arranging their space. The same way we were talking about fashion as a presentation of inner self. Your bedroom also depicts a version of yourself that's, you know, more personal, more honest. And the inspiration for that started with, what was his name? There's a book called Tokyo Style from this photographer. I think it's like Ryuichi something. I can't remember his name off the top, but he basically rode a moped around Tokyo.
Nice.
And just took pictures of people's spaces for and it was mess, it was clean, it was everything. And they weren't, most of the time people weren't actually in the photos.
Right.
Apartamento just reissued the book, and like it's now on shelves and shit everywhere.
Nice.
And it's like $100, but I'm like trying to save my money to get that shit. But the idea is like there's a reality and an honesty that comes with understanding the way that people live in their spaces.
Right.
And I think that it transcends the facade or the masks that we put on. And that's been really interesting to me. A lot of times people are like, oh, like I'm super down to have you take photos, but like my space is like not the best, or it's not, you know, super. And I think the most interesting thing to me is not like a tailored, curated, perfect, you know, clinical space that's like, you know, like an Airbnb or something. Like it's more like, what are these little details that are like, you, for example, like you got your wrestling stuff. I know that you are a huge wrestling fan, you know what I mean? Like I see it on Instagram and everything, and that translates that. Yeah. Where I wouldn't have even had to look at your stories to understand that about you, because that's, you're choosing to have that in your space.
Yeah, and I was just about to say, even what you were saying, like also like I feel like oneself, like one's perspective of their own space shows even how they perceive themselves. Like that person, like, oh, my room's not the best, or like my room's not clean, and it's like, you know,
it literally doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, right? Like, you know, the same way you would be like, oh, but my hair is this, oh, but that, and it's like,
because it's you. It's honestly you.
Exactly.
And I think being able to with a camera, the ability to like take that and show that, a big factor has been, you know, thinking about time and thinking about where in 10, 20, 30 years these photos we're going to look back, we're all going to be older. We're all going to be aged. Some of us are going to be like dead, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like straight
I always
up, like,
be thinking about that. I'm like, people could drop dead at any
for
second.
real. And honestly,
we're not all guaranteed to make
I'm like, bro, like let me just, with the craziness of the world and everything, I have this like hair on my ass to be like, let me just like lock this in right now of what it's like right now before people move out of the city or whatever, and with all the ice stuff, like, you know, like I'm like, this might be the last time that I can see, or that we can reflect, right? You know what I mean? Before like it's all rationed food, you know what I mean? Or before
shit gets like fucked up,
right? Like, and that's what I've really been thinking about, and it's been an honor and a blessing to be able to like even have people trust me to come into that, because it is an intimate thing, right? You know what I mean? Like to come in and be in, you know, sometimes 2-on-1, sometimes it's like literally just 1-on-1, and we're just sitting there and shooting and talking and like understanding that there's like a responsibility that comes with that of like, you know, act right, you know what I mean? Like don't act stupid, you know, like, and also understanding how sacred it is for someone to even open up that door, right? And be like, you can observe. Like one person actually was running around and like cleaning stuff up a little bit, and I was like, that's funny that you're doing that. It makes no difference to me. Yeah. You're gonna hold these photos for however long, you know. I want to put it all into a book.
You definitely should. Like that's why I was even like really what's the word? Excuse me. Well, I was really captivated. I really like the idea that you already have a book out, like with all of your work, even if it's just street photography and stuff. It's like, oh, that's sick. Like, I love, number one, I love physical media, and I know it's funny because like everything I do is like on the internet, you know. But I love physical media. I love like having things that are here to prove that we were here, like a timestamp, a milestone, anything like. Everything we're doing, and we as humans existing in this time, we are like historians all in our own right, because we're all documenting this time period 100%. That like people are gonna look back on and be like, oh wow, like what the fuck? Yeah, you know.
Or it'll be known as like that was what that time was,
right?
because they will have like, obviously advanced past it.
Right.
And at some point people will forget, and then they'll have to look back to understand.
Yeah, and it's like a fucking major responsibility, and
that's
it's
a
so
huge
cool.
thing to be an author of it, to be an author of like, what is this time culturally?
Right.
That's like the role.
I'm always trying to perceive that too. Like, I can't because we're in it. It's like not being able to see for us, but like there's no. I was watching a video yesterday, like one of those like video essays, how there's like no such thing as like monoculture, but not like in the way we were talking about like upstate, but like more so like there's no more like primetime television or like like
everybody's observing the thing at once,
or like like decade, like cultural decades, like the 90s, the 80s, 70s, where everyone was all on like the same vibe. It's like that doesn't exist anymore.
I think that there are elements of it though, because you'll catch it in like shifts.
Yeah.
Like there was like the Brat Summer shit, there was the Barbie Oppenheimer shit. Before that,
it's
there was
a lot
Game
more
of
like
Thrones.
niche and like micro now. I feel like,
but I think that there are these moments, because I think we crave that as a species. Like we want to be on the same page for some things.
A part of like a culture of some sort,
and we want to feel like we're connected to people. That's for everything for me, dude. Like, if you want to go back to the inspiration question, like looking at the work that other people have done before is like, it gives that sense of connection across time, especially when I'm feeling disconnected from the world right now.
Right.
You know what I mean? If I look back and I see like inspiration wise, like one of my biggest inspirations and the way that we're developing this whole workshop and everything is like the Eames studio. Like Charles and Ray Eames, couple, created artistic studio that was meant to work on all different sorts of projects, and they ended up getting like known for their chair and everything, the Herman Miller and all that stuff, and the I forget what the company was that they sold their chair design to. It might have been to Herman Miller company, but Herman Miller was also a person. But regardless, point is, like, looking back at the experiences that they were having, I'm like, wait, 60, 70 years ago, there was somebody that was on that same time of like, I want to make a studio where all kinds of creative shit is coming out of it. You know what I mean? That's
and
all
that should still be happening today. I mean, all the time. Like, even like movies and music and stuff, where I always realize it is like politics, like our political similarities or parallels. Even like right now with like, World War III, the genocide in Palestine, all this crazy shit. It's like you see the parallels to the Holocaust, or you see the parallels to post 9/11 America when it comes to like our societal like attitude, and like, or Vietnam when it comes to our anti-war. Like there's so many things, and you'll hear like one-off pieces of speech, like people talking, like, and they'll say something that resonates right now with exactly today, and you're like, oh wow, like
Gil Scott Heron on some like revolution will not be televised, brother. Like that. It's like, damn, he was thinking the exact same thing. Like,
right. And you're watching the government like censor and try to leave out the narrative because people are upset. You can't avoid that truth in this country. People are upset right now. People are heavily unemployed. We're not okay with what our government's doing across the ocean, where our money's going, where our tax dollars are going, and the government's just like, la la la, Trump's birthday, la la la, fucking da da da, la la la.
Well, and not to mention too, it's like all this money is going outward towards all these other things, and it seems like for so long it's been that we as people are the last priority. Right. When people are having a hard time like living, I think that this is where obviously this is the sentiment that Zohran kind of came to embody, is like, I'm gonna put the people first and block out all the billionaire bullshit, like because I think that the collective sentiment, we're actually in a very like powerful moment right here where there's a chance now for somebody to like really hold a title that is like in defense. And again, we're the fucking people, we are the capital of the world, New York. I feel like that's like the truth. I think so too, and it's hard not to think that being here, but So if we thank you, trash people, for being so loud. We out here. But like to think with that, like if the most powerful city in the world, theoretically, is choosing this guy who was standing on these morals, which, you know what I mean? My reality, or like how I feel, is like I'm skeptical of all politicians, and I feel like this guy, he gives me hope, but
he could easily be like another AOC, like a politician who said promising
Gets
things and they
in
couldn't
doesn't.
deliver. Right. But like even the fact that the people voted in this guy who
in the first place,
right, with these morals is like, I do think that there's change. I don't know if it'll be through organized politics or if it'll have to get to like a bit of an ugly point, you know. But I'm just hopeful, and
I think it's. I share that sentiment with you. I feel that same way.
Yeah.
I think that it's at the very least what we can understand from it is that there are people across all backgrounds and walks of life that are feeling the same thing, and that's why I say it's a powerful moment, because it's like the second that you can combine efforts across people's differences, that's where you get power, and that's where you get movement.
Right.
And that's also, you know, not to like self promote here or plug or anything, but when we do the portrait party stuff, like that's like a main driving force is like, look at these different types of people, and we're all here in this setting, and like let's highlight and champion our differences, but also remember that we are part of a system and a web, and that web it is affected and is generated and is, we have, like authorship, we have to be the authors of it. We have to be the ones that are deciding how it looks. No one is going to come in and or if we don't, someone will come in and it's fucking, you know, Elon or
like a piece
some
of shit
person who's like, okay, well, this is, you're going to go over here and you're going to go over here and you hate you and you hate you. And it's like, there's a reason that they do that. There's a reason that they want to keep everybody in these little pockets and not divided. Cross the lines.
It's crazy, and it's always something, you know, like I'm glad that, long story short though, I'm glad that like people collectively are getting over it, because like it's been the same thing for a while. Race, religion, sexual orientation.
People are collectively getting over what? Like
division,
right.
And then, like we're still so divided, and we'll always be divided in this country because apparently like no two people can agree. However, at least in New York, what I see is that so many people are tired of our class issues, our money issues. We're all fucking struggling to eat and live. That it's like, okay, I don't care if this dude's gay, or I don't care if this dude's a fucking different religion than me, because you know what? Like, we're both gonna vote for Zoran, so we can both get some free housing, because we're both struggling in the same boat.
We're both hungry and eating food.
Right. Because we're both human. Like, get the fuck off of this whole division. Oh, this shit, that shit, this shit, that shit. Like, oh my god.
Well, and again, you know, full circle, going back to the very beginning, that having those moments of thinking like, oh, this person is that group that's separate from me, but then somebody comes up and is like, can you show me the directions? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, wait, shit, okay, it's just souls in like skin bags. Like, it's not like, there's literally like, and obviously there are these things that are like fundamental differences of like the way that you see, you know, respect, or the way that you talk to elders, or the way that, you know, like, you know what I'm saying, or like what you do on the weekends, or like stoop culture, or like there are different things that are, you know, part of different specific cultures. But I think what's so great about New York is the fact that at the core it is just a bunch of people that are trying to get by, and then there's a couple of people that are filthy fucking rich, and
the fucking 1%ers that you barely see, but they control our whole city. For
the most part, and for the reality of it, street level, which they're not on. Right. I've been in some of these apartments hanging fucking paintings and shit for work. Like, they're outsourcing everything, dude. They're getting their food delivered. They're getting a person to take care of their kids. They're getting fucking driven places. They're like barely touching the sidewalk. And it's like, that's where life comes from.
And then they get mad when like right now, like all the rich people are like, oh no, we're gonna get taxed more heavily. It's like, yeah, you should have been at the fucking your local election, your local poll.
Right. You
but
can't
you're not.
Send someone.
You can't send someone to vote for you, piece of shit.
Right.
But you know,
it's
just crazy.
It's a wild time, man.
Right.
It really truly is. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think I want to remember this time, and as I've gone through all these different phases and eras of living in New York, and I've hit, you know, a third of my life I've been here. I look back and I think of this moment or this memory, or I walk past something and I'm like, oh, I remember that person I was there with, or like, whatever. And I think in talking about art and photography and everything, that is what pulls me to it. Right. Is that it's like you can kind of lock it into a time capsule. And the physical media, I want to print it because I want somebody to dig it out of a box and be like, yo, what the fuck?
Literally,
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Instagram could fucking shut down tomorrow. We have no idea,
That's what I mean, bro. How am I supposed to put every fucking podcast episode on physical media? I can't. Right. I'm gonna have to burn that shit on DVD. Am I gonna put every song of mine on vinyl? Like, get the fuck out of here.
You should, though. You should. You so should.
I really...
Burn that shit on DVD.
Just one vinyl for myself and be like, yeah, I have every physical copy of everything I've ever done.
Right.
That'd be sick.
That would be a cool class.
That's an idea.
A cool lab. That's what we're trying to do. We're doing one on Sunday. Really? Yeah. Nice. If you want to pull up, if you have time.
Yeah.
We're trying to do these little workshops that are like for the Mott workshop.
Yeah.
The idea is like each like individual workshop is a lab, and it's like one person gets up and facilitates it, or two people. This weekend it's going to be me and Madison. Last time it was just Madison, and we'll like pick a topic, or we'll pick a thing that we're going to do. I'm hoping down the line we get like a photographer that's been in the business for 10 years comes and leads a class, and you can show up and like hang out, get to know people around you, and learn this knowledge from this person, like school. Yeah. But without the, fucking, and then about it, you go to that one, and then you lead the next one on something that you know about, and it's this.
That's cool, like
exchange.
Community. I love that, because you know what? I was just having like a rant the other day, and I'm like, I don't have a problem with like teachers or mentors or like anything like that, because I was gonna say like, I just have a problem with someone like looking over me and like judging me and perceiving me, because I was talking about like work and like bosses and like being micromanaged. I think you're talking
about authority though.
Authority is
different.
Because that's what I was gonna say.
Because there's a right way to be an authority
exactly.
power.
That was the whole thing. I was like, I say that I don't like authority, but I don't have a problem with teachers or mentors or anything that's like mutual or like just not degrading. So when you talk about like a community oriented exchange of information where you could learn but nobody's like over you, the like this
top
it's like dope. It's dope. I think that's
everything has always, it seems like every like structure that we participate in this society feels like it's hierarchical. It feels like there's a boss and then there's everybody underneath. You're at the bottom,
or like even like a fucking like a race, like
or a race where you're edging each other out. And I think the thing that is most exciting to me in my life right now is the fact that they're with this great upheaval. There is the possibility for change. There's a possibility for a different approach, because people have started to recognize that the old approaches are not working for us. Right. So I think that if everybody's feeling that way, like, why don't we just pool our shit? You know what I mean? Like, and I want this thing to be the kind of like spearhead that goes into that, where, and me and Madison have talks about this shit every single day, like sometimes for 2 hours, 3 hours. Like, I don't want to be the boss of it. I don't want to be the director of it. I don't want to be the creative director. I don't want to be none of that. I want to be a participant, and I want it to be equal shares. Right. Everybody has an equal part to play, and the only way that it stands up is if everybody pitches their energy in. Right. And I think that if we can successfully make something like that happen, then it's going to change the structure of creativity for everyone, for us right now, but then everyone that comes after us. Because in 10 years, we will have made something that the people that are our age right now and younger than us right now, or even that are 10 years old right now, they're going to get over here. They will have the opportunity to come into a system or a situation that is more generous, is more egalitarian, is more like merit based, and not just who your pops knows or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I want to make something that changes the fabric.
Yeah, changing the culture, man. Changing man. That's what I like. I like that you just cultivate very safe spaces for people to express, to create. It's
because
really
I want safe spaces for me.
Yes, exactly.
Too. Like,
that was kind of like a moral for why I did the pod too. Like, I really like that. I really like that a lot. I want to
be the change.
Literally, be the change.
Be the change.
But with that, I wanted to ask, because like I even like for you to expand more on like the workshop and stuff, but also pretty much what are you doing now? Like what are you working on now? Which you talk about the workshop and stuff, but also like what are your plans for the future in the sense of maybe like expanding on ideas you've talked about in the past, like portrait party or this workshop, or even just like brand new ideas that you're like, yeah, this is about to be sick. Like,
yeah, I mean, right now, like we can talk like micro, macro. Micro is like keeping myself afloat. You know, I've been splitting my time between doing production work and doing photography work, and the photography work is like low money,
right?
But it has potential for expansion. Whereas the production work, I'm kind of at the tail end of like where I can go with it. Like I don't really want to go upwards in it. I want to just, you know, and production work makes really good money. Like you could go, it's long days, but it's like you could go 3, 4, 5 days. If you have a 5-day job, your month is covered. Yeah. So like you can take the time off the next week and the week after that.
Yeah, it gives you a lot of time.
And in that time, I've just been trying to like hustle, get my photographic skills up, learn as much as I can. I'm studying a lot, like just like following that rabbit hole, 37 tabs open, trying to understand why a certain chair is looking a good way, or like understand why Pharrell was so successful at the beginning of the 2000s, or how his shit changed. I've been reading Andre Leon Talley's memoir, and he's talking a lot about Karl Lagerfeld and Anna Wintour. She's up next. I'm gonna read her shit next if I can find something that looks good. But just trying to like grow, expand, use the summer energy and people's willingness to be outside to like
your full
just
advantage,
pop through it, because I'm not looking forward to this like inability to get shit off the ground that comes with the dead of winter, because people are tired and sleepy and everything. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of I'll take a table out, like a patio table, and I put it like a couple blocks from the crib, and I put it right next to I live like near Dimes. Yeah, and so I put the table out, and I'll have like me and one friend or me and 2 friends, and we sit there, and instead of going out to bars and shit, we just like hit the deli and grab a 6-pack and we just talk. Like, you do this.
Yeah,
like, it's literally
nice.
that.
Dude, that's so sick. That's like how I like to hang out.
I've been trying to have one-on-one, dude, like, and understand like where your head is at, where my head is at, like grow, expand, instead of go out with 6 friends and like everybody's fucking shit housed, you know, like.
And I think like the difference between two is like when you go out and like you like amongst friends or wherever you go to like an establishment, you like everybody's like collectively like masking someone, because you're outside. You have to like be presentable, whether you have to look good, act appropriate, like whatever. Not saying you should act inappropriately, but you get it. Rather
it's
than
about
like
stripping that back.
All right, rather than being in the crib, you don't gotta fucking do shit. You can sit there with your feet out, bare feet, like drinking a beer, like da da da. And I think like it's always so helpful to have those experiences, especially like again like me doing the pod. It just like gives you a much better perspective of the world around you. Like I have sometimes I'll just be there like delusional, like everybody around me thinks this way and they think this way or talk this way, or they go to shows and they handle themselves like this, or people are working hard, or like anything. You can assume anything about anybody's life, and then you talk to them and they're like, shit bro, I just lost my job and I'm struggling with rent, but I'm also still doing this. And it's like, oh, everything I perceived about you was like
a fabrication,
right? Like you're going through the same shit I'm going through. Like that's lit. Like not like, oh, we're both struggling, but it's like, damn, at least I don't feel so like fucked up like with my shit,
and like solitude and isolated.
You know, and you don't feel fucked up about it because you're talking to me about it and etc. Like it's just dope.
Yeah, I think again talking about the art, like that is what art is. It's like it's investigation of the inner workings on yourself, the inner workings of other people, and it's sharing that. Yeah, and understanding soul, things. Yeah,
just taking away the fucking whole shell.
Right, and taking honestly too, like, bro. So we're coming up on September again. I'm about to turn 31 now. 30 last year. Woo! I hit the big 3-0, and I was like, this is it. I'm done fucking around. Like it's like this big
time to lock in
moment. Yeah, and I was like, let me try to like be really intentional with my time and everything. And this last year has been a lot of self-reflection, a lot of self-investigation, and a lot of, I've met all these people across all my time in New York, and I don't want to meet new people anymore. Not in like bad way or like a exclusionary
no new friends,
way. Right, bro. I want to broadcast that so hard, that energy, but I don't fuck with Drake. Like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, and I wish somebody else had made a song that was like the same.
You gotta like oh man,
you know
Drake
what I
is
mean?
a hard one.
I think that phrase like every day. But I want to, instead of going out and meeting all these new people, because I already did that for like 10 years, I want to dive deeper and strip the layers back of the existing relationships, and I want to get to know each other better.
Right.
It's because I feel like I have my people. I feel like for the first time in my life, I have around me a collection of people that I have similarity with in all different ways. You know,
that's really
like,
cool.
And that feels like a real achievement.
Hell yeah.
You know?
Dude, I'm like, I don't know. You know, I mean, it's so hard to find someone that you're like, oh yeah, like we're on the same exact like wave, you know?
And even if you're not on the exact same wave, it's like, it's a respectable,
right.
Like I get that that's something that's for you and I have something that's for me that's different, but we have our crossover Venn diagram, like.
The Venn diagram, quite literally. Yeah, man, you know, it's just like, I get that. Like, that your 20s were the time to like build up. Now that you have like this foundation set, it's like, all right, now it's time to like expand on what has been built, you know?
Fortify it, understand it better. I'm trying to be more, I'm not trying to be, I just am being more communicative and more honest. And just like, you know, it's stripping back the layers. I was doing a shoot yesterday with somebody that actually had come up to me while I was on production. And he brought his friend, and this is like kind of like a new friend now, and I'm like, okay, we're like fine. Some people could slide, like, you know what I mean? Like it's fine. But you know, she came and she's like, oh, you know, I'm from Sacramento, and I do photography as well. And at first, I was like nervous. I was like, oh, what if she's like, you know, bad energy or whatever. Like,
yo, I'd be on the same show time.
That's how people.
Sometimes
are,
I just get like the feeling, even I'm like,
right. Well, and it's you know, it's born of experience that sometimes people are gonna try to like. Some people are like takedown type of people that they'll like shade you and throw like a little like, you know, like a rude thing or whatever, and like
underhanded.
Oh my god, yeah, and that's why I don't fuck with LA people. And I've gotten to a point where I recognize that energy, and I'm like, oh, okay, we're that's fun. Goodbye. Like, you know, like I get it. Yeah. But so she was there, and she was like, you know, I'm from Sacramento. I'm also a photographer, and it ended up being like we got to talking, and she's a real person just like everybody else, and it was fine, and she was friendly, and like we broke those barriers, we broke the walls down, right, and we're able to talk freely and positively. But I had said to her, I was like, she was like, oh, so like what do you do? I was like, Madison does like programming at a nonprofit and a bunch of other things, and then I do this, and I have the camera, like I am a photographer, which I am, and I make like 50% of my money from photography, which is crazy to me still. But I walked away, got pulled away. We were shooting a little bit, and I came back over, and they had moved on to something else. And I was like, also, I want to point out that I also am a production assistant, and that is where the other 50 or even 60% of my money comes from. Right. And I don't want you to leave here thinking that I'm just sustaining my life off of taking photos, because that's not true. Right. And she was like, word, because I'm also a production assistant, and I was wondering about, and I was like, dude, like, I wish that somebody had said that type of shit to me. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, because
otherwise, again, you think you're like behind, and you think you're like fucking up,
and that's not true. Right. It's not true. And then you're spiraling out and thinking like, oh fuck, well, where am I fucking up? Why am I not doing as good? You know, I hate that energy. I don't want other people to have that energy. I don't want myself to have that energy. I want that energy to be like obsolete in the next couple of years. You know what I mean? Like that sort of like
be the change.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, bro. Yeah. And that's why I say like you're such like a good person to have, is like that cultivator of like spaces, you know. And again, because I know because you want safe spaces, as you know yourself, and that's like the best place you can come from. Right. For that position. I think I'm gonna head towards the wrap up of sorts soon. Okay. But before I do that, is there anything you want to talk about that I may have been missing? Because I do have like a structure of sorts. You know, we talked about like past, present, future, stuff like that. Anything I'm missing?
I wanna flip it on you and say, what do you see your next few years like? Whether that's with the podcast, or that's with just like your artistic journey, or whatever kind of like, as I'm saying that pops out. into your mind?
It's quite a gamble. Like, honestly, if you want to be real with you, the same way that I didn't know what I was going to be doing, like, in these next couple of years, like, I still don't know what I'm doing. Like, I'm still just as clueless as when I was younger. And...
sorry.
And so, like, with the podcast, like, I don't know. It sucks because, like, if I, like, I'm gonna just be honest, and I know I'm not the most ambitious person because I'm very, like, I like the feeling of safety and comfort. I know you need to be uncomfortable and step out of your safe ground sometimes, and I'm willing to do that, you know? Like, I'm not against that. But, like, I would like to comfortably expand on the pod, just continue, like, what I'm doing. I don't want to be, like, this guy who has to come up with a great idea for the podcast to, like, exist or, like, do well, you know? I think, like, what I, like, do here is cool. It's really more so for myself. Yeah. Because I want to get back into the music. I don't know if that's realistic just for the sake of, like, not that I can't do it, but just, like, I don't know. It's just, like...
It's complex, and it requires, like, planning and steps.
As I get older... I know what I want my sound to... Like, when I was a kid, I was making any songs. I was making them sound like anything. Yeah. I was just having fun with it because, like, I wanted to be, like, a SoundCloud rapper, like Little Peep or, like, whatever, you know? And then as I got older and as I get older, I was like, I want to take it serious, but to take it serious, like, I got to master my sound and, like, kind of find, like, what I want to make. And then I know what I want to make, but it's just, like, having to relearn every step of making music again and, like, taking away, like, kind of, like, throwing out almost half of what I've learned. Yeah. And then, like, having to just, like...
Do you feel like you stepped away from music?
I was burnt out. Yeah. I was super burnt out, and I felt like that my music wasn't reflecting my true, like, authentic creative vision, my thoughts, like, like, everything. It just wasn't reflecting me. It just felt so artificial. And so that's where I took the step away, and I started the pod. And so creatively now... And, like, creatively for the last couple of years, like, I'm chilling, like, with the pod, but I also get, like, frustrated because I want to do more. And I don't know, like, where that's going to take me or what's going to happen. Like, you know, I make connections all the time with the podcast and with the music and shit, but I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm doing at all.
Can I ask you?
What's up?
The burnout, for, like, with music, felt the burnout. I think burnout is something that, you know, we all have experienced. It's like there's like burnout culture. Right. Like, it's like a huge, you know, it's hard not to be burnt out. Right. Especially in taking all the information that we've been getting and everything. What do you think was, like, the prime driver of that burnout with music? Like, was it like I was doing too much of it, or I was trying to match somebody else, or
I was too worried about, like, there was an image aspect of it because I had a lot of music friends, and I was worried about, like, kind of, like, not fitting their image or matching their image, but at least being, like, palatable with it or, like, corresponding with it. It's like, okay, well, all my friends make, like, this ambient, like, emo rap type music, so, like, you know, even though I don't want to make exactly that, like, I still want to, because, like, we were very, like I was very involved with my internet friends when, like, I was younger, you know, and so, like, I felt like it was important. Yeah. And then, you know, like, by the time I, like, made, like, my last couple songs or whatever, it was like, okay, like, I just wanted, like, I was first worried about analytics and, like, statistics, like, numbers more than anything, like, performance. So I was just really worried about, like, what other people thought, you know? Like, I was making, like, this, like, the last project that I dropped, which was, like, I didn't even, like, I bought a bunch of beats from some producer that I really liked, and I was like, okay, I have all these beats, like, I might as well make a song to all of them, make, like, a project. And, like, in all that time, like, I wasn't doing it because, like, I wanted to make, like, these great songs. It was like, okay, like, I kind of just, like, it's just, like, kind of came upon me.
You were thinking less about the actual having fun of doing it and more about,
like, the image and
the product, like the final product.
Right, exactly, like what we're talking about. Yeah. And I'm finding myself sending, like, my pals the songs, like, hey man, like, do you think this is good? And, like, if they don't respond enough, like, quick enough, or, like, I'm like, oh, it's not good, like, yo, like, so in my head about everything, like, bullshit. I do
that shit so hard, bro.
And then after
I'm trying to work my way out of that.
Yeah, like, and I just, like, I fall in that a lot, like, and then after I made that project, I was like, all right, I made this project. I'm going to give myself a little break, and that break just gets longer and longer and longer. Right. I made a couple songs since then, but, like, I feel like, again, they're, like, and they're more, they were for me. They were because I want to make a song about something I feel. Yeah. And, like, even then, I just feel like it doesn't sound the way I want it to fully, and so, therefore, I can't resonate with it as much as I want to, even though, like, the lyrics I can resonate with. It's like, yeah. And so, creatively, where do I see myself going? I have no idea. I know what I want to do, and I know how to get there. But it's really more so just believing in myself, locking in. But also, life is a roller coaster that I can't predict. So I know that, like, I'm going to have to work some jobs, and that's going to take away from time. And I've had all the time in the world. Like, I've been unemployed for, like, lengthy amounts, and I don't ever, like, I feel like utilize the time fully. I feel like I get caught up, like, worrying about, I'm broke, or, I'm unemployed, and that will consume my mind enough to where I don't do anything else, you know?
Especially if it feels like you said, that time starts and I'm off of doing music, and then that time gets longer and longer and longer, and then now it's like it's got weight. Right. It's got weight on you. I have a painting on my wall that I started a year and a half ago. Mm-hmm. I haven't touched it. Yeah. And I sit there and I look at it and I'm like, it like stresses me out. You know, and I'm like, that's got to be like not a great thing. It stresses me. Yeah, I mean, like, and to me, like, the longer you take away, like, because when I was making songs, like a song after song after song, even though like, it was like, I don't care about this, or it's like it's not truly like reflecting me or my emotions or anything of the sort. It's like I'm making these songs so quickly within each other that's like, it's no problem, just bust out a song. Right. Now it's like, I haven't made a song in so long. My next song must be like perfect, fucking amazing, you know. And so it's just all these like very weird like head games that I play with myself, and I always say it to Lena too. I stand in my own way a lot. You know, I think if like I had like not even like a different anything, but if I had more confidence or just like I don't know, it's just I have everything I need to know that it's possible. I know that I'm capable of anything. Yeah, because you just need to know that you're capable. That's it. That's all you need. And like if it's any consolation, I think that's like the number one problem that most artists have is like feeling that sense of like it's not good enough. Right. Like, I know how much better it could be. It's not good enough. And if I put that one thing out and it's not hitting that level, it's going to be devastating. Right. And it's going to be, and I think that there's a sense of like, we have a sense of finality. Like, if I put this out and it's so bad, then that's it. Like, I'm just bad. Yeah, and that's it. You're over. You're done. And that's like the, what's the word? Not occupational hazard, but like, that's like what comes with making things that are so connected to your identity. Right. Because if you're at an office job and you fuck up numbers, you're never like sitting there like, I'm a piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like it's numbers, you know? Right. But if you make like a piece of work, it's like you're pouring your soul out. And if it's not good, it's like, well, then that means I'm not good. Right. And I think that separating that and recognizing that it is that process and it is that like, it's one pit stop. It's one stop. I even think about it like in like a weird context of like, bro, do you think like your ancestors or like cavemen like gave a fuck? Like they painted their handprint on the cave wall, and you think they were like, dude, fucking, I hope this shit pops off. Like, no, they didn't give a fuck. It was art. They just did it to express themselves. I hope this shit pops off. It's crazy. Yeah, like they're gonna all visit my cave now. Like, get the fuck out of here. Cave, like, or like they start like trying to replicate his handprint. Like, I want that in my cave. Right. Oh my god. It's not gonna happen. And it's like, but his is a knockoff. Like, that's he not got the original fucking handprint. Yeah. Yo, so like it's all that, and then I think I have such an easy time with the podcast because I'm not the star of the podcast. I'm just like the structure. You want to put other people in front, as I get to make the thing, but I don't have to like put myself on the spotlight. You know, like I could feel the exact same way. Yeah, this is just what I like to do. I like to talk to people and yap and listen to stories, and also like when it comes to like interviewing musicians, it's like they talk about like, like I use this program, I do that. That's cool to me. Yeah, talking to fashion people, all that shit. Everything I have on the podcast is a reflection of my interest in some way, shape, or form. Right. So it's cool, but it's way easier than music. And with both of them, I don't know where either's going. I think the podcast is going to continue to grow, but I don't know. And with music, who knows what's going to happen? And the thing is also, before I wrap up my point, is like, creatively, I'm very open to anything. So I could be a fucking actor in 4 years. Like I could be a fucking whatever is thrown my way. Because like, and it also, I lack a little ambition as well. So I need to like find a direction that it's like, okay, I want to do this. You know, I like the podcast. I want to do the podcast, but you need like, I don't know. I think you're doing it right now. Yeah, exactly. It's literally happening right now. I think that's really all. I think it's okay to not have what feels like crazy forward momentum all the time. I don't think that's realistic.
I like to take it slow.
Yeah.
And like see my options and see like, because I know I'm still going forward and upward.
Right.
Even if it's not.
Right.
It's like fucking.
Well, and also too, let me tell you, bro, there are people that I've literally watched this happen to from like afar or from even kind of even up close. But like there are people that if I think back, I'm like, oh, like 2016 or 2019 or whatever, they had a moment and they like fucking popped, and it's like the bigger you are, the harder you fall, or the faster you come on, the faster you get off.
Yeah, it's like no longevity.
Like, right. Like, and I think that has been stripped away from us in the culture that we live in because of immediacy and because of productivity.
Right.
Like product, like making a product. Like if you have something that gets made really quickly, there's no time to put the richness into it and to make those little mistakes,
right?
You know, and have those little mistakes build up to a better overall holistic knowledge of the thing, you know. And I think you could do a pop, you could have a pop, but that pop is gonna come with a drop.
Yeah,
you know?
And like I'm at the point where I don't even want to worry about the pop. I don't even want the pop to be in my head. I just want to just like exist and do, and that's where. I'm just so aware, and I still just don't be doing the shit that I'm aware of, so I just get upset at myself, you know? But it's chill.
Little steps.
Right. You know?
Little steps.
It's just, life is crazy. I think it's just, like, I have such a hard time with, like, human existence and, like, perception and being perceived as well as perceiving. Like, sometimes I just feel like the soul in here, and I don't feel like I resonate with any of this. So it's kind of hard to like go out into the world and exert this and, like, to do things.
Buy
when
shit
you
from
just,
CBS.
Yeah, like when you just feel like this here.
Yeah.
It's I don't know if it's like dissociative or like whatever the fuck, but I'm thugging. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean it's society, dude. You know, it's we're in like an artificial thing, and our bodies are reacting to it, our souls are reacting to it, and being like, oh, what the fuck, I'm supposed to be getting berries, you know, whatever, like
hunting food.
Yeah, I think a big help for me has been like training out the guilt of like if I'm not going fast enough, or I'm not doing good enough, or I'm not at the same par as somebody else, or like, you know, I should have been here already, or I should have been, you know. I think that just serves as like as something that's going to slow you down. Right. And I don't even mean to say slow you down as like you should be going fast. Like it's really not about. It's just counterproductive. Speed. It's about. I think it's about. And I'm fucking learning all of everything, all of this shit, like right now as well. Like I think it's about creating a system around you that works for you first. Right. And then through that system working, then you can, it's like you put your mask on first when if the plane is going down. Right. So that you can breathe. If you run around and you're trying to like save everybody, you're and then now there's a guy that's knocked out body, and now everybody that is trying to figure their shit out is like, oh, now we got to deal with this fucking guy who's knocked out. Now you're in the way, right? Like, I think it's really important to establish your system in a way that makes sense for you, without guilt, without expectations of other people, without thinking like, what is it supposed to look like? It's identifying yourself, identifying what is going on in here, understanding what that looks like, and understanding what that needs, right. And then filling in those gaps. And then from there, you're cooking. Yeah. If you walk outside and you haven't eaten anything, you're like, ugh, I'm falling over. Like, ugh, ugh. But if you ate, you're good. You can think about things. You can work on stuff. You have to cook for yourself. You have to make something. You have to get your base right, solid foundation, and then from there, then the complex stuff comes in. But you can't build a house from the roof. Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I know I'm young and I got time, but I always say I got time, and then time passes by. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, time is always passing. I think what it is too is like everything's chill. Nothing's to worry about. I think like I've been doing like music since I was like 14, you know, or like being like creative since I was 14. And so, like, I always view it as, like, a perspective of, like, oh, I've been, like, creating for X amount of years. And not like I expect anything out of it, but it's just, like, I feel like I would feel, like, a little more... Oh, I should be here. Ahead, just a little. Not even, like, oh, I should be, like, the greatest thing in the world. It's just, like, you know, I think I should have more to show for, like, the time I've put in. But it's also, like, again, standing in my own way. How many of those years did you take time off like you are now? Because it's kind of, like...
you were afraid and shit like that. It's just a lot of bullshit. And in reality,
So maybe investigate that.
you know, in reality, I'm 22. I'm young. I know I got time. Right?
Yeah, bro. Oh my god.
Yeah, and it's
Dude,
like
you're like exactly precisely where you're supposed to be.
exactly.
If no one has said that to you, I'm gonna say it right now. You're exactly where you're supposed to be.
And I appreciate
I always
that.
forget how young you are.
Young 20s.
You're like, I'm 22, but my life is not complete.
Yeah.
It's crazy, bro.
And it's like, I know your 20s are supposed to be filled with like poverty and struggle and craziness and hecticness, and it's like, it's cool, you know. I'm down with the shenanigans.
The time is gonna go by, and you're gonna have experiences that are gonna make it so that you understand things better and you have better perspective. And as long as you keep your eye on the ball, and your body will keep filtering your actions through that goal. Right. You know, so just choose what that goal is. Like, what is that? That's why I asked you the question of like, verbalize, use the words and put words and language to the thing that you want down the line, and think about what that is. And it doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be small. It doesn't have to be like, oh, but I can't get there. So let me give this little. But it doesn't have to be the stars. It can be like, it has to be like really truly pick what you want. And then all of the shit around you, you're going to start making little decisions that you're not even noticing
and that
are going towards it. And then that time is your ally and not your enemy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and then all of a sudden that time passes and you're like, oh damn, I was putting little micro work in that entire time. And now that micro work is massive macro work. It's big work, you know? So like,
trust in the process,
but definitely choose your, what is the target? Where is the target? You know, choose what that looks like.
Yeah, in reality,
you do have time.
Outside of creativity, I just want to be comfortable. Like, I really just hate like the feeling of like,
I want to be free. I want to be free to work on the shit that I want to work on.
Right, and I think like the things that create the lack of freedom or like even lack of security, it's like. Like, I don't know. It's hard to, like, really, like, give your all into something when you're like, oh, man, like, am I going to fucking make rent next month? Or, like, oh, man, like...
It is easier said than done.
You know, like, or, like, you know, it's just, like, there's a lot. It's just, but it's chill. And I do have time. And it's great. And, hell yeah. I'm glad that you asked the question because I verbalize it often enough, but it's hard to, like, be confident in that, like, idea, you know?
Yeah.
Unless like you're talking with someone who like gets it or like has been there, you know. So like I'll talk about like what I want to do creatively with like any Joe Schmo, and I feel like I sound kind of like one of those people who are like, oh, I could, like I would, or something. You know, like the people who like they'll talk about all these great ideas they have and they never fucking do it. Yeah, and it's like I feel like not only do I look like that. Or not even that I look like that. I feel like I'm perceived like that in those moments. Unless I'm talking to someone who gets it, you know? Like who has... I'm also creative and like I get it. Like I'm also trying and like all this bullshit, you know?
Right. Well, I'll tell you what too, like they always are that way. Like people are always that way until you check one thing off. You check two things off. You check three things off. And
it's
before
like,
you know it, all of a sudden you're like, damn, I checked so many things off and I stopped even paying attention to how they were looking at me. Yeah. And then all of a sudden they're like, yo, you really doing the fucking thing. And it's like, I was always doing it. You know what I mean? Like but you thought that I wasn't because you know what I mean? Like I was like, I didn't have achievement, you know, whatever, this or that.
People, you know, and like, it's just weird. Like, I think, it's just weird. I think just perspective of life and perspective of everybody, like everybody being human and interacting with each other is just all weird. And it's cool. And I just have like a really weird time perceiving it all, and I think about it and I overthink it, but in reality it's like, oh wow, all this thought, and you already know what the fuck everything is, Michael. Like it's lit. Like
it just becomes full circle.
Yeah. You know? So yeah, it's weird to have so much awareness and still be so unsure, but the wheel keeps rolling.
Better that than to have no awareness and be sure.
Right.
Because there are people like that too. And
then
they're like, no, I'm dead certain of the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
you know? It's just crazy. I'm really glad you asked the question. Thank you.
Yeah.
Food for thought.
Thank you for having me on the pod, bro.
Hell yeah.
I appreciate it.
No, thank you for coming. This was a great time and a great conversation.
Bro.
And
of course.
I think like it's so funny for the viewers and even funny for myself because like this was such a dope like intricate conversation, but I think like if you were to like timestamp it and be like every conversation we had, like it's gonna be like it's gonna be like but then it's like a circle still, but it's just like all over the place, like scribbled circle. So now that we gotten You know. Oh, I do have a final question. Avery, what do you got going on next day, week, month, year, decade, century, millennium, or so? It doesn't have to be anything related to what we talked about. It could be what
So
breakfast for tomorrow,
millennium, bro.
Next 1,000 years, what are we doing?
Next 1,000 years. Next day. Tonight, I'm going to my friend's birthday.
Happy birthday.
Got him a book.
Nice.
He won't see this before I give it to him, so I got him a book about chairs across the world and their different designs.
Nice.
Because he's been fabricating stuff lately.
That's dope.
Rest of the week, I'm going to kind of try to chill because next week I have a production that's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Extensive.
Like big, yeah. And that is going to cover my money. Like right now I'm kind of like waiting for some checks to come in.
Right.
That production next week is going to cover me, but it's going to drain me. Like physical,
you got to recharge,
energy, yeah. But then after that, I have like all of August. I think what we're going to try to do in August or maybe even September is through Mott Workshop, we're going to do a group show.
Nice.
In a truck.
Nice.
Where we drive the truck around and it has everybody's artwork in the back.
Nice.
And we have a theme and everything, and we've already done a truck show, so we know how to run the shit. So that's like the month. The rest of the year, just keep getting better, keep getting smarter, learning, manage my time better. Hopefully start making more money off photography, developing better connections with my friends, having a solid village.
Yeah.
Creating a village, establishing the village, getting everybody that's in the village to know each other separate from me, so that it's not just like a focal point, like decentralizing myself.
Right.
And then in the next 5 to 10 years, that's going to be Mott Workshop changes the structure of the game, and it's based on us.
Hell yeah.
So yeah.
I'm really excited to see. I mean, I've had such the joy of seeing your work like progress and grow over the last like 3 years or so, and I'm very excited to see like what you do moving forward, like the incline.
You've already been part of it, and you're going to continue to be.
Hell yeah,
Yeah.
That's the fun of it too, even being so hands-on and interactive, like just your work. It's dope. Hell yeah.
Well, thank you, bro.
Thank you. And now that we have gotten all the important questions and great conversations and all the rambling out the way, this was the Cult of Personality podcast, hosted by yours truly, once again, Mikeymcchoppa. With me today was Avery Savage. You can find his ads and all the great links in the description below. I don't know if I'll be here next week because that's just how I am. I've been doing good though. I've been consistent, right? Like 3 episodes and come on now. Anywho. Peace, love, and hair grease. Peace in the Middle East. Free Palestine. Fuck ICE. All the great things that I say at the end of all these episodes to keep y'all in the loop, because we got to be on the right side of history. Anywho, we might see you next week. Peace, love, and hair grease.